Okay, guess what time it is, folks? Sometimes a man just has to buy a new grill. It's 4th of July is coming up this next weekend, just in a few days. And my old one is 12 years old. And I went and splurged, but I don't know if I made the right decision. I'm gonna have to modify it today. Let's look at my old one compared to the new one and see if I got took. Well, let me start with my old one here. It's a Savor Pro. It was a Menards special 12 years ago. It's a 3-burner plus the, oh, that's pretty gross, isn't it? I've never used that. And here's the insides. Right now it's missing the grease trap. I just have a tray. The only thing I have done is replace the grates here with the stainless steel and those tents down there, the V-shaped over the burners. I've replaced them about 2 times, and the burners themselves. I bought a set of 4, used 3 of them, and then I had to replace 1 of them later. But you can see way in the back there how rusted out this is. Those tents are actually wanting to fall down on the burner because of the rust. You can see the burn marks here. I actually let the grease build up in that tray, and when I was cooking for a long time, it caught on fire, and this thing produced heat like you wouldn't believe. So it kind of distorted or overheated the lid here. This is a few months ago when this all started. But it's all just cheap metal. Oh, and I'm going to tell you what I paid for this thing at the end of the video. You're going to have to watch till the end of the video. I like to put buttered buns up here, give them some grill marks and melt the butter. I like that portion of it, but it doesn't cook real even. The front here is pretty cool. Well, the burner just doesn't extend out to the front here. I'll show it from underneath. Sorry about the extra noise today. I got the air conditioner running in here. It's only going to be a heat index over 100 today. But you can see those burners don't extend quite to the front there where they burn. I don't know if you can see the burn or the flame holes there. I've had to modify this. See, we're here in Kansas. Let me flip the lid down. Now I've had to add this thin flap. Let's just get it out of there. Look at that big opening there. You know, that's just ridiculous. There's no way that the wind here in Kansas isn't going to get in there and disturb your grilling. Now I've had to do the same thing here. I'm using old, I believe this is gutter material, and I've shoved it up there. Let's see if I can remove it. Okay, there you can see how rusted out this grill is. See, I'd have to totally rebuild this back here. The grease trap wore out, and they wanted like half the cost of a new one of the grill, half the cost of the new grill, just to replace the grease trap. A cat took it, ripped it off once, and so I found a pan from like Target would slip in there, and I've got it out in the, I call it the forest, kind of cleaning it out right now, but it slips in here. But it doesn't have a drain, or like here, to drain the grease. So it just accumulated in that container. And when it would rain, it would accumulate in the grease trap. Not a real good design. Actually got so hot that that hose there that's hanging, it actually started smoking on me. That's not a good feeling when that happens. Now if I lift this lid, you can probably really see the all the light coming through the burned out spots in back there without that extra. So that's why I had to get rid of it. Well, what did I replace it with? I thought I'd go with one of the top lines. And here it is, the Weber, the cheapest Weber. 2-burner. I don't figure I needed the extra space, but it's going to look a lot better. Nice grates, 3 tents, but only 2 burners. It's got a door that swings open. It's got a little magnetic catch. I thought in the wind that this door would not maybe catch and stay, but it has stayed outside and not flipped open, so that's been good. Cheap side panels. You can't, on this model, you can't pull them out and swing them down like you could on the a couple years older model. But let me close this lid. You'll see it's fairly tight here. I've only got, instead of 2 inches, I've got maybe a finger width here of vent. So I think this thing is going to do a lot better in the Kansas wind. Right now we're kicking up 20, 30 mile an hour outside. We're going to cook with it at noon here in a couple hours and see how it does in the wind. I think it'll be all right. Okay, here's the problem with the grill. Look how open that is. And the grease catch is right here. I've got it actually turned around. Well, right now I've got kittens. What are they going to do? They've already played in the bottom of this thing. They're just going to get on top of here and get right in the grease. So every time I use the grill, I'm going to have to pull that grease trap, probably put it underneath the grill cover. That means extra work when I want to be eating. I'll have to come back out here and deal with that. So I got the idea, maybe I need to make a cover for that. There's a couple options I'm thinking about. We'll see if any of them are feasible. I could go back to this old grill and remove those front panels and use them temporary in the back. I might try to remove them and just see. Okay, let's get my last one here. This is for the bottom panel. Oops, not wanting to quite go yet. Maybe I need to raise up, which means I might have to remove that top panel first, or these screws all the way. The other side came loose real easily. Okay, have to remove that top panel. Crazy cats have actually got into this pocket here. I don't know what these people who make these grills think. You can put your tools like here. Well, who's going to put a tool here? It's going to get all dirty. Animals are going to get into it. You know, stuff like that. Okay, there's a... Oops, getting all crooked here. This thing, how wobbly this thing gets without the front panel here. Okay. There it is. Now, can we use those 2 panels? Let's mock it up and see. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, I could use a coat of paint, and I don't have any. But I measured it. It's just a little bit wider, but can I put it in here? Something like that. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, you could raise it up a little bit. Use this one. You know, I want to be able to, one thing I didn't show you, this grease trap can slide out like this. So it'd be nice almost to be able to do that. But I don't know if I would say put it up here where that grease trap could slide out. I could put mesh at the bottom there. But if I put it up here, well, them cats will still get in there, won't they, and try to disturb that? Or do I need to just fasten that there? Now I might do that with just a couple plastic tie straps. And I can get to my propane tank through the front. That's absolutely no problem. Okay, here's the this other one. If you lay it in there, it would be tall enough to more or less prevent any mischief from the animals, except rodents would still get in there. Could. Let me take this one out. I might be able to go like that. And I can get the grease trap out the front too. If I go up here, I don't know, would that be so bad? I kind of inverted this top one here so there's no ledge. I hate to drill through this metal here because it might tend to rust. I always want to do something with some tie straps so it can be easily undone. What do you guys think? Is that something that's even doable? That's what that would look like. Still gives you about 4 inches at the top. Let me show you what I mean by the grease trap. So you can just open this up and go right in here to get the grease out. You try to keep rodents out of it. I don't know if that'll be much of a problem being up here where the cats are. Well, let's mark it here for my holes. Yeah, let's see what kind of damage I can do here. Kind of hard to do with one-handed. Yeah, now we got the plastic tie straps here. I snipped them off here. You can move it to the side, but there's not much of a gap, so that'll be fine. Okay, this is what I did with this bottom plate. I flattened out that shelf. I cut it with a 10 steps to open it up, then I used a rubber mallet to flatten it. I put a hole at the end here on both ends to run a plastic tie strap. But yeah, I flattened it out so it would clear the grease trap. Now if I want to remove that grease trap, right now it pulls out like this. But you can take the grates off the top and brush it clean. I could get this guard out of there just by cutting 2 plastic tie straps. And a guy could set up some kind of nut system, nut and bolts or something if he wanted to. But I didn't want to make any drill marks into this other metal because it's got a, somewhat of a guarantee there. And I only cut myself once dealing with the sharpened tin, and I filed the sharp edges. That's after I cut myself, of course. I need to do that drill hole there, take a file to it. But we'll slip this in there and see what it looks like. Okay, change of plans. I couldn't get that tie strap through that hole there and through these vent holes. So I'm going to do here, I don't know, see if you can see it. There's a hole there, there's a hole there, and a hole there on this
lower piece. What I'm going to do is, if I get this started here, I'm just going to run there. It's kind of loose. I'm going to actually back it out just a little bit. I'm going to run 3 of these in there. And that's going to keep this panel from moving in. Okay, doesn't have to be. I could drill new holes and make them tight, I guess. I thought they would be tight, but that's all right. See, now I got that in there. It's not going to want to, I can't push this top panel in. So I'm going to plastic tie this vent to this top bar, and that'll keep it. The only thing I'm worried about, I don't know if that plastic tie strap can take the heat from this box here, but heat usually goes up. So we'll put them in there and we'll just play it by ear. That's a simple solution. I won't even fasten that on the sides. Yeah, this is what I end up with. You can see the plastic tie straps. I had to use 2 of them, but I can't push it in here. So you could screw them down together there. You could do a lot nicer job. I'm just going to trim these. We'll see if that even works with the heat here. If that melts, I'm going to have to redo it. But anyway, you can see there it's got a little bit of vent here at the top. It's going to keep the cats out. It won't keep the rodents out like the mice. It'll keep the rats. But this thing's got big, see even on the side there, it's got a big opening here. So you know mice or rats are going to get in there. You'd have to plug all that up. So anyway, that looks a lot better. If that holds up, the Kansas wind and stuff, we'll have it made. Yeah, we'll take it out there and put the front cover on. See how she grills up. Oh, you can see how shaky this old one is without those crossbars. That's just gonna, since that top is so rusted, there's nothing holding it. I'm just gonna go push it over. Oh! Okay, come in here. Well, that didn't last long. It just totally,
it's toast.
We're gonna have to carry it out there.
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess that was none too soon.
Okay. I thought I could get it outside. It just folded.
Right here at the corner. Right behind.
Someday I'll take it to the dump. Okay. Simply ridiculous hot out here. Let's just go ahead and fire this thing up. The guy heads inside, gonna make some hamburger patties. Do that as our first. So you can still reach in here, no problem. Oh, I was gonna put a liner in there just to save that. Save that. Let's go ahead and. That should be on, that's simple. Sounds like it is. I hear the wind through there a little bit. We'll go inside. I'll just make a little liner for this. So for the first time we can see how much grease we get. Been out here a few minutes and it's almost 200. We'll let her heat up to 500 or so. Okay, here's my foil. I use heavy duty foil. So we'll just slip it in. No big deal to slip it in from this side. Yeah. Well, it is having a little bit of difficulty today. Not quite 300. Okay, about 5 minutes it got up to, looks like 425. So I'll just keep it on high since it's so windy. Let me go get the hamburgers here. Make sure I got half-pound hamburgers there, it looks like. Normally we don't do it quite that big. I put some Pam spray down on here. But before I get my hands full of meat, let's just see here. What I don't like about this, you're really going to be restricted to how many buns you can put up here. So that's the meat dish. It came down to 300 degrees. So we'll see. We'll do that for 5 minutes. Okay, I noticed it's getting up above 450. So let me turn both of these down. What I think the Weber is going to excel at is finer control over the temperature. Let's see how we're doing here. Make sure the buns aren't. Okay, they're okay yet. Everything looks okay. This is probably about 3 minutes in. Well, it's still 425. Turning these down a little bit halfway. I'm going to go a little bit further down. This is about 4 minutes. I don't want to burn my bread here. I may just take the bread off to save it. Now let's see if we can oh yeah, it's got a little sear to it. Yeah, let's take a look. They're looking good after I turned them over. Nice sear to them. It went down to a little bit below 300 here after I had the lid open. We'll cook them another 4 or 5. Now it's gone up to 425. And see, I have the controls set. You know what? I didn't even set the controls down halfway. Maybe that's where halfway is, where that little symbol is. So I was up a little bit. That's why we're running a little bit hot. Let's take a look at these. Yeah, you can kind of see some fat running down in there. Don't want to get my lens full of grease. We'll pop them up and take a look. Yeah, they got a little bit of sear. I'm going to go a couple more minutes. Well, here's the back of it. See, if I put my right where that plastic tie strap, I can put my finger there, but not for more than a few seconds. That crossbar gets pretty warm. Here it's pretty warm. Down here I can keep my finger on it, no problem. But here on up, it gets pretty warm. I don't know if those plastic tie straps will hold up. But I'm glad it has those little bit of vents there. Okay, I think we're going to try them. Juices are clear. A little bit of sear there. I'll let it cook off for just a few minutes here yet. I normally don't do that much. I just shut her off and go because I'm ready to eat. But we'll let this cook just a little while. Okay, let's see what we got here. Put some onion on it. We're missing the bacon, aren't we? I don't know how this will be mustard on lettuce. I'm gonna make a mess. I'm gonna put the ketchup. Okay, enough of that. Okay, here we go. Just slightly pink, just slightly. About 4 or 5 minutes aside. Perfect.